Zeebs, Six Nations is upon us. First game, France against Ireland down in Marseille. Is there going to be a bit of a World Cup hangover for either team?
Both teams will be hurting after the World Cup. Both teams have something to prove. I think we can expect an explosive game, but I don't see a World Cup hangover at all. I see two teams, arguably both the best in the world, are thereabouts, going after it. So it should be a cracker of a game.
Mate, we're number 3.
Yeah, you're still a way back. Number three.
People are talking about it as a title decider, aren't they?
Yeah.
As the first game, which is crazy, but two best teams in the tournament over the last few years. And the French, with the world's best player, in my opinion, Dupont missing, going to play sevens. Dupont's a cheat code. Like the way he plays every week, he creates things, he wins games single-handedly, he puts people in holes, he makes other players look way better than they perhaps are. So I think the biggest miss for them is going to be Dupont at 9. They coped without Untermack at 10 during the World Cup, and Jalibert is a good player, he'll play there. But
in France, it's a unique place in terms of the atmosphere for rugby games. It's just an incredible place to play rugby, and the Stade Velodrome, of course, is a spectacular stadium. You can imagine it's going to be a very hostile place to play rugby come Friday night.
So it's all on the atmosphere in the stadium, what's going on the field, and the fans will turn pretty quickly. If Ireland get ahead and start winning the collisions and dominate them physically, you can see the crowd turning.
Okay, so Andy, Friday night, give me your prediction for the result of the game.
I want to say Ireland. I really do. I love the way they play. Fowles, good English coach, doing wonders for Ireland. Maybe a Jack Crowley drop goal, like Johnny Sexton did in 2018 to win it near the death. So I'm going to go Ireland by 3 points.
Oh.
What about you, Zeebs?
Good prediction.
Yeah.
5 points to Ireland, maybe a late try to get us the win. So, yeah.
Who's scoring the try?
I'll say Peter O'Mahony.
There you go. Skip this try. I've been watching you this season. You've been on fire.
Thank you so
And there was a lot of chat about you getting back into the Ireland squad for the Six Nations. I know you got your knee injury, but how close were you before that?
I'd say I was pretty close. I know, close enough to warrant a phone call off Andy, which was nice. But yeah, I'd been in good form. I'd been scoring some good tries, and playing well. And that's the main thing, is just kind of getting a run of games together, which I hadn't done in quite a while through injury. So obviously disappointed. I would have loved to have been in Portugal with the lads and going into week 1 of Six Nations, but it wasn't to be. So all I can do is just keep trying to stay healthy, keep putting in big performances and big games, and the rest will take care of itself. So I'm not too far away, so another few big performances and I'd throw my hat in the ring again, hopefully for the summer tour maybe. But no quarrels, and just excited to keep producing my best rugby.
So changing of the guard at captain, Zeebs, and your mate Peter O'Mahony has taken over the armband. What's he like as a guy, as a leader, and how do you think he's going to go?
He's a fantastic guy and a fantastic leader as well. I've known Peter a long time. He's been my captain for a long time in our club, our local club, underage at 6 or 7, then on to school, to back to the club, and then through Munster and Ireland. So I've had him as my captain on every team I've had, all the way up. So I know exactly what he's about. He's all about, hard work, discipline. He leads from the front, leads by actions. He talks when it's necessary, but he generally leads by his actions, and he's a fantastic leader. He's someone all the guys in the group will respect and try and learn off, and he fits the role perfectly in my opinion. I think Andy's nailed it. So Andy, Owen Farrell obviously not being in the English squad, how much of an impact do you think that will have?
I think it'd be huge. He's been our leader for a long time. Love him or hate him, and there's divided opinions on him. He's an out-and-out leader, and guys that have played with him, you talk about Peter O'Mahony and what he does from a leadership perspective. Owen sets the bar that way from an England perspective as well. For me, I think he deserves to go and try something else. He's been in the Saracen system for years in England, and to go and play at Racing, your old club, and live in Paris with a young family and take himself out of that limelight, for him and his sort of mental health side, I think it'd be great, and the opportunity to experience something different. I'm chuffed for Owen Farrell. He's taken himself away from the Six Nations. We will miss him, but it's an opportunity to re-identify ourselves and actually go and play some decent attacking rugby, led by the good young players in our squad.
It's about time we start playing some nice rugby.
So talking of players missing, Reece Zammit has taken the plunge to go and try out in the NFL on that pathway.
Yeah, it's a ballsy move, takes a lot of confidence to do something like that. He's obviously a British and Irish Lion. He's played at the highest level in rugby, and he's still incredibly young. So if he's going to ever give it a chance, it's probably the best opportunity for him.
I genuinely hope he goes well and gets a contract, because that shines a spotlight on rugby and gives an opportunity for other players to think, you know, rugby is a great game, provides great athletes, and someone else could do that, and it just grows naturally.
Exactly. Yeah.
The eyes on our game as well. So he's going to be a loss. He's Wales' most exciting player probably when he gets his hands on the ball. And Wales are in a tough spot at the minute with their squad, but good luck to him. Hope he goes well.
Yeah. Have you seen Netflix's new special Full Contact?
I have seen it, and I absolutely loved it. Now, we've both been in rugby change rooms. You're still in them, and you know sometimes when there's a camera there, some players, maybe like yourself, play up to the camera a bit.
Peacock a little bit.
But I really enjoyed it. You know, you got inside some of the international teams more than others. I know England were quite reticent to have the cameras in there, and Steve Borthwick kept them at arm's length, which was a bit disappointing. But watching the Netflix documentary, they're all going to want to watch the Six Nations now because it's so prevalent in their minds. And I thought the documentary was brilliant, and hopefully there's learnings from all the unions that allows them to have more content, more access, and more stories being told. Because we want to tell people stories, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone's a robot. Not everyone's the same.
No, exactly.
There are fun guys. There are some fun guys. Yeah. So, and that's the way to grow the game for me. So it's a good start.
So there's a lot of talk about the structure of World Rugby and, you know, the format of different competitions. Is there anything you'd like to see brought in or taken out? Or
so for me, the big one is a jeopardy of the Six Nations. I think there's got to be some sort of playoff between whoever finishes bottom of the Six Nations and whoever wins the Rugby Europe International Championships, which has been Georgia. We've seen the improvements from Portugal. People are talking about expanding the World Cup as well further down the line, and all eyes are going to Australia in 2027 and then USA in 2031. But you're in the game now. What do you think? You're still playing. Is there anything you change?
I 100% agree with you on that. I would like to, you know, there has to be some sort of form of ramifications for the wooden spoon, or the winners of the wooden spoon. It's been either Italy or Scotland for a long time now. So, but in all seriousness, teams like Georgia have pulling off big scalps. We've won in Cardiff. Portugal obviously flew it in the World Cup. Some amazing performances, playing beautiful brand of rugby. So giving those kind of players more exposure to playing against the top sides, I'm all for that promotion and relegation.
Couldn't see Ireland doing that though, no.
No. Definitely not. So Andy, you've had an illustrious long career.
Yeah, I mean, I started back in the dark ages in '98 when the game wasn't that long into professionalism. You know, I played with some legends like Martin Johnson, Neil Back, these sort of guys who had sort of gone from amateurs to fully professional. And it was proper old school. It was like bring your own kit to train in. You know, fish and chips after training. The problem is I kept that going throughout my whole career. So the changes have been huge, like the physicality, the progression of players, and the detail, the sports science around recovery. You know, I think I suited my era. I wouldn't be a professional rugby player now. I wouldn't have the ability to be because of the levels and the standards and speed and intensity is so much higher than when I played. But I loved my time. Like, it was an amazing 18-year career, going from '98 with proper old school players through to professionalism fully kicking in and players making careers out of it. I'm just glad I had my time back then and not now, because the athletes now are ridiculous.
Yeah. Throughout your career, you were very successful. You won 5 premierships, as you just told me now, and 2 European Cups. Would you trade them for a World Cup medal?
You'd love to say yes. My issue was I never even got to a World Cup. So I was on standby for 2. But for me, would I change stuff? I'd have loved more caps. I'd have loved to have gone to a World Cup, done what Johnny Wilkinson did to drop the goal and win it for us. But I'm competing against Johnny Wilkinson, right? So
that's a very impressive trophy cabinet, by the way. I would do anything for even one of those Champions Cup medals, my friend. So.
I'd probably swap my championship medal. So I played for Worcester when they got relegated. I'd swap that one for a World Cup.
Andy, obviously your podcast is flying it. You're killing the whole podcast world. Things are going great. Is there any room for another host to come along? Maybe someone like me.
Zeeb.
Zeeb, put my CV forward.
Yes, Zeeb, we'd love to have you on. You know, you're a great character. Funny guy to look at and to be with. But like, you're a character, aren't you? So we do the podcast in a way that's not straight-laced television. It's you're having a beer with your mates and you're having fun chatting about rugby. You'd be ideal for it, mate. So we'll have you on any time you want to come on. But more importantly, you've got a future in the media as well for when you're hang up the boots in maybe you've got 3 more years left.
37-year-old winger.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, you know, it's fun. As long as you're engaged in it and it's fun, you're committed to it. We love doing it.
And when's the next road show?
We'll be over in Dublin soon. We want to get down to Cork and various different places. But yeah,
the real capital, my friend.
There we go.
There we go.
We get there.